I just wish the black woman knew, like, you don't gotta wear wigs to be beautiful. You don't have to wear eyelashes to be beautiful. Like, eyebrows. Like, you don't need all that. You're beautiful, like, just the way you are. And that's not black girl magic either. Black girl magic is natural. Like, it looks way better.
Yeah. I also think that they've talked themselves into, and they can't talk themselves out of, I think they know that being natural and being with no makeup and all this stuff is beautiful, but they've been told and they've been shown, like, this is beautiful.
They've just been
so
shown
they can't
over
get
and
their,
over.
And they
their
just want
mind
to
off
fit
of
in.
it.
They just want to fit in.
That's true.
I mean, that's what everybody's doing, right?
Because even like we've never grown up with wigs. We've never grown up with fake eyelashes. And in our minds, we know natural. You know, we know
We've
it's
always
beautiful.
been natural, right?
We know we know it's the way to go. But we're still affected by it. We're still like.
And
but am I enough?
imagine if we hadn't grown up this way,
Right.
how affected we'd be by it. Like if it was our moms doing it, or our sisters, or our best friend at school. Like that would be. How do you even fight that alone?
See, hoes don't like me.
You know what I'm starting to notice? I'm starting to notice that there is a trend going on regarding the existence around black women. And with this trend, let's go back to when it started with black men. Basically monetizing off of the discussion around black women, monetizing off of the outrage based off of the context of the discussion around black women that were being had, right? So it started with black men. They were the ones that were constantly worried about black women, how we choose to look, how we choose to live our lives, who we choose to date, etc., right? So that kind of died down, I would say, especially after we got, Kevin Samuels out the water. He's out the way. That energy coming from the manosphere regarding black women kind of went down, right? But now I'm starting to notice that it's now transferring on to non-black people and non-black women especially. And with these non-black people and these non-black women especially, I'm starting to notice that now this trend is now being passed on to them, where they are now overly concerned about the existence of black women, and now they are choosing to pedestalize black women, number one, and they are choosing to pedestalize us by constantly making us the topic of their discussion, right? They are the ones that are bringing the light onto us. They are the ones constantly bringing us up in discussion. So with that being said, this is all calculated and this is intentional. They are doing this because there is convenience and value from doing so. And the reason why there is convenience and value in this is because, number one, black women are a natural threat, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. I'm going to put that in another video, okay? We are a natural threat, okay? There's a reason as to why there is so much opposition and so much oppression amongst black women in general, okay? That's number one. Number two, they know that there's going to be outrage, right? And so with that outrage, they are utilizing that outrage to continue their vocal points, to continue monetizing off of the discussion around black women, to continue to do exactly what it is that we see in this video, right? They're utilizing the outrage from black women. That's number one. Number two, I'm starting to find it very ironic how now all of a sudden a lot of non-black people and mixed people included are now starting to make this kind of separation and distinction within themselves and black women. I don't find this to be coincidental at all, especially with this whole exotical space coming about and things like that, and I had to touch bases on that. I'm finding that there's a correlation within this. Instead of, these non-black people and these mixed people shining a light on them, they can't do that without having to include black women into whatever it is that they're trying to produce, right? So they need black women in order to excel. Like I stated, I'm noticing that there is a desire for wanting to make a distinction between non-black people and black women in general. So number one, I noticed that their attire, their aesthetic, Okay, this is intentional and calculated, right? Because I was wondering, do they even dress like this on a daily basis, or is this on brand for you? This is on brand for you to dress like this. I'm talking about with the hairstyles. Come on, all the way down to the hairstyles. Putting it like, this is intentional. I made an observation of how, notice in this thumbnail, now they are referring to themselves as young and black, right? But notice in the video, in the very intro, I'll play it back. They are not even referring to themselves as black women. They are calling us. They are referring to us as they. They look at themselves as they do this. They saw this. I just wish black women.
I also think that they've talked themselves into.
Just wish they are talking to us as if they are not also black women as well, right? That, like I said, they want to make a clear distinction, a clear separation. But now I'm noticing in this thumbnail, now this is when you want to refer to yourself as black. You want to use it to their convenience. This is not something new. You know what I'm saying? This is not something new that non-black people would do, especially non-black people that have black into their mixture. And this is not all mixed people, but a lot of mixed people do this, because I am more specifically referring to mixed people when I'm talking about this, when I'm talking about how they like to use black to their convenience, when it's convenient for them to do so. Because on one end, you want to make it seem as if you are different from black women by separating yourself from talking as if you're not a black woman. But on the other hand, when it comes to creating your little podcast and want to get your little money, you know what I'm saying? Now you want to call yourself black. We're young, black, and this is how we're raised, right? Do you see what I'm saying? On the thumbnail, they're referring to themselves as black, and they're making a correlation into how they were raised, right? But they are not black. They are mixed people, okay? Understand this. And in the beginning, notice how I stated they wanted to create a... This is so funny. Because I just came across this thumbnail. I needed something to create this video with. But these were thoughts that just came about that I had just jotted down, that I noticed when I watched that clip. I'm like, okay, do y'all even dress like this? Because like I said, this is calculated. They're doing this to create a certain type of illusion of how they were raised versus how black women were raised, right? So like, you're trying to create this like narrative of like, okay, yeah, we're black, even though we're mixed, but we're black, and this is how we were raised. We were raised in such a different type of way, or whatever the hell, right? And more than likely, I haven't done my research, but I'm going to predict and assume, more than likely, I'm going to assume that these are women that have white moms, okay? It's not like these are type of mixed people that have black moms and they relate more to black culture. These are people with white mammies. Excuse me, let me not be ignorant. These are people with white mothers. Your whole brand is called Gotta Be Me, right? So why don't you be yourself and be mixed on your podcast, okay? Because you were just talking about black women as if you were not a black woman. But now you're trying to benefit from identifying as a black woman. Get the F out of here, please. And when I'm talking about their attire and their aesthetic, it's calculated in a way as to where they want to be perceived as if they are moral, they are modest, they are more put together, you know, things like that, etc., in relation to black women. So I have a few more talking points. I am going to react to the video as I do so. So I'm going to play the video here and then also make commentary while doing so.
I just wish the black woman knew, like, you don't gotta wear wigs to be beautiful. You don't have to wear eyelashes to be beautiful, like eyebrows. Like, you don't need all that. You're beautiful, like, just the way you are. And that's not black girl magic either. Black girl magic is natural. Like, it looks way better.
Anything that black women do is going to be a problem for anybody that is not black, okay? Because being black is intimidating in general. being black is intimidating as a whole. So if we choose to wear our hair straightened, that's also going to be a problem for you, because that's also going to be deemed as something that's also intimidating to you in your mixed existence, right? If we choose to wear our hair at our natural state, that is also going to be intimidating for you, right? If we choose to go natural, if we choose to wear makeup, like, why does it's not even the fact that it doesn't even matter, but it's just the simple fact of, like, we create all of these things. It's not like it's something that we don't know. Black women choose to do these things. We know that we don't have to do this. We choose to do this. It's just that our existence as a whole is threatening for you. That's why you can't stop talking about it, because it doesn't matter what we choose to do. It's always going to be a problem, no matter what state we choose to be in. She's saying that, oh, I just wish that black women knew that they didn't have to wear eyelashes. They didn't have to wear eyebrows. Girl, that's like saying that we don't have to get our nails done, to feel or be beautiful. Girl, like, that's just natural things that all women take a part of. Okay, so why is it that it has to be when black women choose to partake in it that it's an issue? You know what I'm saying? When we know that it's something that certain black women choose to partake in, because it's not like all black women wear bust downs. It's not like all black women wear wigs. It's not like, come on now, who started the natural hair movement? Let's stop playing with me. Stop. Let's not act like there aren't black women, literally particular black women, that choose to wear their natural hair and their natural hair only. Stop. I mean, like, you're sitting up here. I mean, I know you got your eyebrows arched. I'm just saying. Are you going to sit up here and say, oh, I just wish that black women knew they didn't have to get their eyebrows arched to be beautiful? Like, no. It's something that you chose to do to make yourself feel beautiful, to make yourself look put together. Let's not be stupid. Let's not be stupid here. Also, black women created lace fronts. Black women created wigs. Okay, like I said, this is something that we choose to partake in. So it's not like it's something that people are forcing us to do. We create these things that then people then replicate, copy, and also do as well, and also partake in as well, right? It's not just like it's just us black women that partake in these things. Like, other women don't also do these things as well, including you mixed women. It's really giving pick me, because it's like all of y'all are getting up on here, with these calculated, intentional hairstyles, no makeup. Don't sit up here and act like you don't get up and do something to yourself sometimes, like for special occasions, outings, events. Don't sit up here and act like you don't put on eyelashes sometimes, that you don't put on lipstick, that you may not put on some blush, that you may not fill in for your eyebrows. That's beauty. That's what the makeup industry is for, baby. Don't sit up here and act like you're exempt from those things and that make you any different from any other woman, especially black women. Girl, stop it.
I also think that they've talked themselves into, and they can't talk themselves out of, I think they know that being natural and being with no makeup and all this stuff is beautiful, but they've been told and they've been shown, like, this is beautiful.
They've just been shown
so they can't get their mind off of it.
They just want to fit in.
Actually, sweetheart, she's correct here. You're right. Because there were actual laws created that prohibited black women from wearing our natural hair out in public, because it was too intimidating for white women to be around. That's number one. And also number two, it was taking too much attention from white women. They feel like black women were taking up too much pride in our culture, right? And they feel like we were threatening to them, competition to them, from the way that we styled our hair, from the way that we accessorized our hair. So therefore, they prohibited us from wearing our natural hair out in public. I actually had a cousin that had to cut off all of his hair in order to go to the high school that he wanted to go to. And this was years ago. This was years ago when I was a child. Okay. And I remember this. He was going to high school and he had some pretty hair. He had some pretty fuzzy, sandy brown type hair. And that school told him that he cannot enter that school with his hair, pretty much. And so therefore his hair has been cut. He had to cut it in order to enter that school. So I'm making a valid point here. What I'm saying is what she's saying is actually valid. So Black women, we have created ways to improvise with this, with headscarves, alternative hairstyles as far as lace fronts, wigs, and things like that. Things that are also can be deemed as more acceptable by society. And notice how I stated they constantly are referring to us as they, as if they are not Black women themselves, right? But in the previous thumbnail, we see that they identify themselves as Black women. And also, I wanted to make note that this girl is stating that, yeah, they just want to fit in. They're just trying to fit in. How in the hell are Black women trying to fit in when we are the ones that are creating these things that you are talking about? The braids that you're wearing come from Black women. Those styles that you're wearing come from Black women, okay? So everything that we do, you guys and white women, they steal it and they like to make it as if it's something of their own, like it's fashionable. It's something that's high in fashion and of status. So what are you talking about? And when it goes back to the lace fronts, now it's, if that's really the case, if we are the ones that are really trying to fit in, when we are the ones that that created these things that you're talking about, why is it that white women are now partaking in these things that you are talking about? Why is it that white women are now wearing braids? Why is it that white women are now wearing lace fronts? Right?
True. I mean, that's what everybody's doing, right?
Because even like we've never grown up with wigs. We've never grown up with fake eyelashes. And in our minds, we know natural. We know
We've
it's
always
beautiful.
been natural, right?
We know we know it's the way to go. But we're still affected by it. We're still like.
And
but am I enough?
imagine if we hadn't grown up this way, how affected we'd be by it. Like if it was our moms doing it, or our sisters, or our best friend at school, like that would be. How do you even fight that?
Like I said, all of this is very interesting. I'm noticing the trends. I'm noticing the fakery. I'm noticing it. I'm peeping it. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. And I will catch you guys in my next one. Deuces.
See, hoes don't like me.